Hey everyone, Eric with Rockin' H, and in this episode of How It's Made, we're going to talk about Brennan's W900A Kenworth. This truck is one he's going to give to his father. It is a replica of the truck he drove when he started his harvesting company. You can see some photos of it right here. What makes this truck a little unique is I actually turned Brennan down on this project first because of reasons that will become clear here shortly. But let's get into that in a moment. First off, we have a standard W900A. I chose a resin cab as the real truck does not have any air breathers on driver or passenger side. And the die-cast version of that has a cutout here in the hood for the air cans, the air breathers. And to fill those in is just a lot of extra work on die-cast, and this was just a much easier way to go. You can buy this online, no big deal there. I did shave off the cab. It did have lights and air horns cast into it. I prefer these aftermarket ones. I like the way they look a lot better than the ones that come cast on the cab. So just sandpaper is all it took to smooth up the cab and make it nice to put these new parts on. This was bought from Truckin' Little, the cab anyways. It actually comes with the grill, which is kind of nice. So you get the plastic cab glass interior, the cab here with the hood attached, and then the front bumper and grill. That's all one piece. In addition, there's some other parts like these steps that come with it and a couple of other extra parts. There's a 20-foot bed on this. It comes out of my store, as well as the fuel tanks on both sides, the rollover tarp frame, the mounting frame, and the hoist. You can see here it does tip, so the hoist works. It's also yellow on the real truck, so the model does complement that. It was not stretched. This is a frame that I didn't have to stretch or modify in any way, which was really nice. The rear mud flaps come out of my store, and the hitchback here is a piece of angled styrene. Molotow chrome was used to paint the center caps on these Bud wheels, also available in my store, and the front tires were stock. Now, what makes this cab a little unique compared to some of the other things I've done is they have Seminole stripes on the cab here and then matching stripes down the bed. Now this is the second attempt doing these stripes on the bed. What makes this such a challenge is, if you can tell on this bed, let's get a little closer look here. There's grooves, and this is modeled after a napeed, or however you want to say it, stake type bed. You can see there's a groove here on the horizontal ribs, and then there's vertical posts, stakes that go down to the bed. So why is this so challenging? To get your decals, now this is a water slide decal. To get your water slide decal, you have to lay it over each stake and then get it to go down into these grooves, the horizontal grooves on the bed. And as you can see here, after they dried, they began to shrink a little bit. I did use a product called Microsol to soften them up and get them to lay down on these stakes as well as into these grooves. But after they dried out, they began to shrink and tear. And like I said, this is the second attempt on this particular bed. And I told my client here, or Brennan, I told Brennan that to get these decals to lay down on this bed nice is exceptionally difficult. And as you can see, maybe I predicted the fate of this, I'm not sure, but it just didn't work as well as I had hoped. So you can see here, not gorgeous by any stretch. Now, are there other ways you could accomplish this task? I suppose there is. You could cut each individual decal between these stakes and then lay it down in between the stakes and then over the stake. I'm not certain how well that would work, because to keep all your lines straight, especially this yellow pinstripe that matches the Seminole stripes on the hood, to keep all that straight as you go across this bed, I think would be a huge challenge. I would also think that a vinyl type of decal, one that's like peel and stick, like a bumper sticker, that could also work if they were cut individually and laid down in. The only difference is you probably would lose the detail of this horizontal rib going down this bed, because it would lay on top of that rib. I'm really uncertain just how all that would work. Now, a guy could mask and paint I have successfully masked and painted a stake type bed like this in the past. The trouble I kind of was wondering as I was doing this was how could I match, to get these seminal stripes to come out, I think would be a huge challenge. Just a difficult time. I'm really uncertain how that would work. And there comes a point, at least for me, when I gotta balance the amount of time I put in a project along with all the other projects I already have to do. So that's what made this truck such a unique build. Actually, I mean, the cab turned out pretty nice. I think that's pretty cool. And from a distance, if you look at this truck from a distance, it's not bad. When you get up close, obviously, you can see everything that's wrong. As predicted, it was a challenge, and I told Brennan, here's what we're dealing with. How do you want to proceed? And he asked to take it anyway. So this will be going to their house. What else can we say about this? The exhaust comes out of my store, as well as these clearance lights and air horns. And then this rollover tarp is just white electrical tape that's been rolled up and glued to, I put a bead of glue on it so it doesn't come unrolled over time, and then glued to the side of this bed. To finish off this cab, he wanted a pintle hitch combine trailer so he could replicate what they have what his dad had in real life. And it goes on the back, and there's the completed project. If you have comments about this decal down this bed, I would love to hear what you think and maybe how you'd solve the problem. Again, I gave it 2 really good tries and it just didn't come together. And I'm not saying I'm going to give up on it. There might be a time when maybe if I learn something new, I can try again and maybe make it better. In the meantime, this is where it's at. Brennan's happy. He's excited to get it as a gift for his dad. And I've made him a good deal on it since it isn't as perfect as I'd like it to be. If you have comments, I'd sure love to hear what you think and maybe how you'd solve this problem. And I appreciate you watching. Catch you in the next video. See ya.